Like a sheet-white winter field covered in a fresh layer of snow, unperturbed by man, there stands, if only for the briefest of moments, the empty YouTube comment section. That is, empty until some speedy, enterprising soul arrives on the scene, keyboard ready, fingers quaking in anticipation. Hastily, they hammer out their message to the world, the one to address the serenity of that blank digital canvas below a YouTube video. They write, "First." Granted, at any one moment, the one writing first may be one of many writing first, and so the first post may in fact be the second or third post claiming to be first, in which case the first poster is confronted with the dilemma of whether to delete their first comment, which is in fact fifth. Arriving early to a just uploaded video on a popular YouTube channel, much safer would be to comment second or third. Assuming first, it's more likely you are second or third. Second, it's less likely someone else arriving with similar punctuality is also writing second. And third, interest in whether you actually are second or third, provably so, is low. Alternatively, and recently, you may choose to abandon ranking altogether and point out that the last time you were this early, Mike still said jive correctly. The last time you were this early, Facebook still had human news editors. The last time you were this early, YouTube notifications still work. Sick burn, put some cool water on that burn here. I got you Google Maps directions to the burn center for that burn. Please make sure that you click the subscribe gear so that you're notified every time Idea Channel uploads a video. The question then is, why might there be a premium placed on being early? And why might there be additional status in claiming that earliness via a comment? The answer, I think, is that it's funny, it sometimes gets a rise out of people, and being first at things is neat.
Hold on, Mike, is that it?
Oh, yeah. I think that's pretty much it. Do you wanna get do you wanna do like Mexican for lunch maybe?
Yeah, tacos?
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, Morgan and I talked it over a little bit, and I think there might be slightly more to it than that. We could ask, for instance, why first gets a rise out of people? Why people like being first at things? Why is YouTube, of all places, a major host to the first phenomenon? It's arguable that there is a slight, almost colonialist twinge to first. One claims the comment section for themselves, plants a flag, if only for a moment before someone writes something disparaging on it. And the question is, if the impulse is one related to ownership, why not write something like, "I hereby claim this comment," and then someone has already written first. A no-nonsense expression of primacy. First is quick to type and clear in intention, I got here before you. And so first is, sure, in a sense, winning with no third-party prize, and often derision in place of commendation. Really, the prize in being first is that someone else is not first. Is that pride? Maybe. Do people keep track of how many firsts they have? I think I have 3. Is the prize notoriety in the form of all of those people scrolling down to write first being greeted by your username? Possibly. I doubt we remember who firsts first though, and often firsts are aggressively downvoted. Is it proof that you're such a good fan that you were sitting by waiting for the upload, got the notification right on time, or hit refresh at the exact right moment? Perhaps, and if so, congrats. Additionally though, I think first is a reflection of the state of comments and their relationship to videos and audience on YouTube. That people do not, at least to my knowledge, rush around writing first on 15-second videos with 10 views and no comments, videos uploaded by someone's uncle to show the family his new plant pot collection, indicates it's not purely for the love of kicking up the digital earth. There's a certain kind of comment section found on certain kinds of videos, which is more firsty than other comment sections. In order for first to matter, there has to be an assumption of a second, and a third, and a fourth, and so on. A group to have out-firsted, to anger because you were and posted first. A newly uploaded YouTube video carves out an undisturbed space of its own, waiting for clicks, likes, and comments, which, like clean public bathrooms and snowed-upon fields, wait for limericks, stickers, boot prints, and you know. But only certain videos, uploaded by accounts with audience, mostly, possess the potential energy which one commenter can turn kinetic digitally by making their first mark. To be clear, though, first is no indication of a positive interaction, or that the first commenter has even watched the video beforehand, which they almost certainly did not. That's not the point. And arguably the source of much of the ire directed its way. First contributes not at all to the conversation. And while I tend to agree in one sense, I don't think that means first lacks conversational value. Common sense may hold that YouTube comments are for the uploader, but first is one of many little insights into how comments are not always on videos, but near them, both in pixels and subject matter. Comments aren't for the creator, or not just the creator, as conventional wisdom may suggest, but for the commenter themselves, and maybe most significantly for the commentariat, a fact made mechanical by the technology. Thumbs up and down buttons, replies, flags, mentions, etc. This point will sit for many of you somewhere between big whoop and no duh, but I bring it up as a way to ask why first exists where it does. I'm not suggesting that no one writes first on any other platform ever. I mean, first didn't start on YouTube. According to Know Your Meme, first appeared on the tech and news site Slashdot, which addressed it in their FAQ as early as 2000. First found its way to the also tech and news site Fark, and from there, Know Your Meme points out moderation policies of Engadget and even posts on LiveJournal responding to rampant, ill-regarded first posts. Yet somehow, first is largely absent from, or at least not readily associated with, Reddit or Instagram, though Instagram comments do have a lot in common with YouTube comments, I think. Maybe it happens, but first seems a rare find on newly minted tweets, Tumblr posts, or Vines. Maybe the same type of people or type of person firsting on Slashdot or Fark found their way to YouTube, but they probably also found their way elsewhere. Really, I think the reputation of YouTube's comment section is at play here. It's an infamous locale. YouTube comments are known to roil, especially if the video is or will be popular. And though it may or may not be open to all, the barrier to entry is low and the audience large. To describe YouTube comments, especially on popular videos, as textually cacophonous would then be an understatement, especially if it's a top 10 Popstar Vivo video. And as a text, one single text made by many individuals, a comment section has qualities of what Espen Arseth has called non-linear literature, quote, an object of verbal communication that is not simply one fixed sequence of letters, words, and sentences, but one in which the words or sequence of words may differ from reading to reading because of the shape, conventions, or mechanisms of the text. It may be tough to convince someone that YouTube comments are literature, strictly speaking, though, not entirely outside of our wheelhouse, but not so tough a sell to say that they're collaborative or creative, I don't think. At least in the sense that one text is literally created by many. I would hesitate to call the vicious, bigoted flame wars that tend to happen in YouTube comment sections collaborative or creative in the laudatory sense, but for each comment section, it represents the thoughts turned digital material of an audience. And as Arseth describes, the sequence of words differ from reading to reading because of the mechanisms of the text. Even if you're not literally writing, you may be contributing. Returning then to the newly uploaded YouTube video, the untrodden field, the blank canvas, first becomes not unlike the violent first decision Anne Bogart talks about in regard to making art, the one which sets creative activity in motion. This is true of any first comment, whether it reads first or not, but first specifically I think indicates to those who see it on some level that its comment section is not so precious. A necessary precondition, I think, for earnest, effective creativity. Bogart writes about what she calls choosing death, quote, acting fully and intuitively without pausing for reflection about whether it is the right decision or if it's going to provide the winning solution. Relatedly, and for what it's worth, philosopher Charles Peirce wrote about our pure sense of things, what we experience of the world before reflection, consideration, and reason. Some philosophers called it qualia, he called it firstness. What do y'all think? What is the rhetorical, communal, and maybe even creative function of first? And for everyone who's getting nervous, don't worry, I'll give you permission to overthink it. Let us know in the comments and I will respond to some of them in next week's comment response video. Just a reminder, there is no comment response video this week, but we did do a little check-in on the book club on the subreddit, so if you want to check that out, we'll put a link in the doobly-doo. If you happen to be going to Portland for XOXO this weekend, I'm gonna be there doing a live episode of my podcast, Reasonably Sound, so yeah, if you're gonna be there, come say hi, maybe I'll see you. And also, I had the great pleasure of being on Rose Eveleth, who you might remember from our Cyborg episode on her podcast, Flash Forward, talking about artificial intelligence and creativity and all that other fun stuff, so we'll put a link to that in the description too. We have a Facebook and IRC and a subreddit, links in the doobly-doo, and the tweet of the week comes from Joybar, who points us towards the trailer that was cut together by Watson for a movie called Morgan, surprisingly good. And last but certainly not least, this week's episode would not have been possible or good without the very hard work of these firsty peeps.